Good evening, everybody. Welcome to College Info Night. We're very excited to have you here in person. This is our first in-person time having this event after a couple years hiatus, so thank you for being here tonight. What we're hoping that this night will be a good overview and introduction of the different college options that are available to students after graduating high school. We have presenters from our community college system, from our CSU system, UC, and private option as well. And if anybody is looking out of state, I'm happy to talk to you more specifically about that. I'll be in the lobby afterward too, just to give you guys some information about where to look for what those applications might look like. We're gonna get started because we wanna give most of the time to our presenters tonight. So we're gonna be starting off with Santa Rosa Junior College. And we have Elias Carreño here he's from Outreach at Santa Rosa Junior College to give you a quick introduction to this option for you. Afterward, we will be in the lobby to answer questions and please come and chat with us, okay? Thank you so much.
All right, hello everybody. I had some coffee this afternoon, so I might be a little jumpy, so bear with me. All right, so my name is Elias Carreño. I'm usually the JC person. So there are 115 community colleges in the state of California, actually 116 with an online option, so we're one of them. Some of this information is gonna be general for those, all those community colleges, but there are gonna be some carrots that we do have. We're all locally in your backyard. We have multiple campuses, so let's get started. Rancho Cotate High School is one of those schools that's kind of right in the middle of everything. Petaluma campus is about 15, 20 minutes away. Santa Rosa campus is also about 15, 20 minutes away, right? We have the Public Safety Training Center in Windsor. We have Schoen Farm in Forestville. We have Southwest Center, so if any parents in the building would like to take classes too, we can do it there. We have different campuses for different reasons. Public Safety Training Center, if you want to be a police officer, you want to be a firefighter, you want to be a first responder. Schoen Farm, we have Equine Sciences. We have, it's escaping my mind, but we have a hemp program. That's one of our newest programs. We have horticulture, wine studies as well. And then Santa Rosa campus, our bigger campus, premier campus, usually welding program, automotive technology, machine tool technology. And then Petaluma campus, we also have vet tech programs. We're going to start breaking ground in a new building for students who are interested in some of the trades as well. So a lot of new developments in our campuses. So why SRJC? People come to us for a wide variety of reasons. I like working for SRJC personally because we have 100% acceptance rates, right? So that's the one carrot I can boast that some of the other universities can't boast, right? Any student or anybody that fills out the application automatically gets accepted. And other than the traditional pathways, you can come in for leisurely. So we have a bunch of students who have gone their bachelor's, gone their master's, want to come back, have a career change, or maybe take a wine class on the weekends, right? We also have that. But to get back to the students, right, sophomores and juniors, you're probably looking at different college options. We have two of the traditional college options: transfer to a four-year university, whether that be a CSU, UC, private school, and also out-of-state universities. We have over 60 majors that you can transfer from, traditional majors. But let's not forget about career education. We have over 100 career certificates available to students. Some of those career certificates could be as low as 17 units. For example, our welding program, you can get done in 2 to 3 semesters. Or they can be a little bit more robust, right, in the health sciences, maybe a dental hygienist or in the nursing program. Some of those can transfer into or can go into an associate's degree program, and then some of those can also go into a transfer program. So 3 pathways, traditional pathways, certificate, associates, and then transfer. Student services, we have a lot of student services. I don't want to go through this too quickly, right? But we have EOPS for students who may be low income. They pay for not only your classes, but also book vouchers. Books are a big deal. Let me tell you, after you graduate, you're going to have to pay for every single book for every single class you take post high school. In high school, they provide for you all the books, all the materials, maybe a laptop, right? But once you graduate from said high school, everything's going to come at a cost. So programs like EOPS, different programs, maybe they're a part of the counseling department, right? DRD probably can help subsidize those costs. But textbooks are going to come at a high cost, so just something to think about. Please explore these programs. We also have several clinics. We have one clinic usually on one of our three main campuses. And then also, I just want to highlight Disability Resource Department, DRD, very quickly. A lot of students that have an IEP or a 504 plan sometimes don't want to pass that information along once they do graduate from high school. But if you have an IEP, maybe it's something you don't get too much support of, right? But priority one registration. Everybody that goes in a university setting, there's a queuing system, right? You don't just come in as a freshman and get to register at the front of the line. But if you're in a special program like EOPS or DRD, or even an athlete, you get priority one or priority two registration, jumps you right to the front of the line. We have a currently head count of 20,000 students in our community college, so the higher priority you can gain, the better. What's this going to cost, right? So we are a community college, and usually we're at a lower cost, but in my opinion, this is still kind of costly. $1,000 per semester is $12 a unit. A typical full-time student is 12 units, so $552. And then we have fees. We have a $21 student health fee to keep our clinics open with nurse practitioners. We also have mental health services available. And then we have student center fee that keep most of our centers open, and then transportation fee. Anybody that is enrolled, even if a non-credit or at least a 1 credit or half a credit course, is eligible for to take the bus in Sonoma County for free. But with books and everything else, like I said, books can be expensive. It comes to about $1,000 a semester, right? We're supposed to be a community college and we're supposed to be very cheap, but it's rounding out to $1,000 a semester. That's not to scare you. That's for me to provide a solution if y'all cooperate. One of the new initiatives in California is every student that graduates needs to fill out a financial aid form, whether that be the FAFSA or California DREAM Act, one of them, right? So FAFSA is free application for federal student aid. It's a free application. Costs nothing to apply, but we do need a little bit of information. Usually that comes in the form of tax information, right? But with this form, you're eligible for the Dole Scholarship, exclusive to our campus, $1,200 for the first year if you're a full-time student, and eligible for renewal for the second year. So that's $2,400 over the course of 2 years. And there's SRJC for free. SRJC for free means that even if you make $1 million a year, $10 million a year, I wish I made that, or $10,000 a year or $1 a year, every student that's a new and full-time student coming to SRJC, or any community college for that matter, there's 115 of us, are going to get their first 4 semester paid for. There are some stipulations. You can't go below 2.0, and you can't go below that full-time status. But if you maintain a 2.0 or above and full-time status, 4 semesters for free tuition, and at our college, the Doyle Scholarship. So again, please apply for the FAFSA. I can't stress that enough. And if you qualify based on economic income, either Pell Grant is up to $7,500 a year. Of course, that means more at the CSU, UC, and private school, right? But typically at a junior college or community college, that's at about $7,000 a year. So you could potentially be getting paid to go to school. Scholarships, like I mentioned, Doyle Scholarship, I can't mention enough. Doyle Scholarship, please fill out the FAFSA. There's no additional application, there's no supplemental application. Including SRJC in your FAFSA is one of the schools you could potentially go to. Doesn't mean you're going to be tied to it, doesn't mean you're anchored to it, right? But you have about 10 options to include in your FAFSA, apart from any other colleges or universities that you would like to attend. Just make sure to include SRJC, even if we're the 10th option, because that is how you apply for the Doyle Scholarship. We also have foundational scholarships, continuing student scholarship foundation. If you have at least completed 6 or more units, you're eligible to apply for this pool. And then transferring student foundation. If you're going to transfer, you're also apply to this pool. What that means is one application gets you in a pool for either 400 or 275 scholarships. So one application, my cousin did this before she transferred last year. She was eligible for 7 scholarships. Some are 200, some are 300, some were 150, one was 1,000, right? But if someone offers you a $150 scholarship, you know, it come right here, I'm not going to reject it, and it accumulates. So this is just, I know it's kind of hard to see a big screen, right? But this is a typical view. This is going to be one of the most basic views of what a financial aid package might look like for the California Promise Grant or SRJC for free. So as you can see, the total there for both semesters is about $3,100. But that's because they're going to supplement or they're going to pay for the tuition. And then with the Doyle Scholarship, it's $1,200, right? So this is not all take-home cash, but Some of it is going to go towards tuition, and some of it is going to come towards you, right? So we pay through direct deposit. We used to get checks back when I was a student, but now it's direct deposit. So make sure your student has a savings or checkings account. Otherwise, you can go through Bank Mobile, which is an accounting system that we use, and it will make that account for them. So again, how to get started? We have a bunch of cool benefits. We have sports teams, we have support services, support programs, right? But how do we get started? The best thing I can say is contact Ms. Jess Hazelwood. Make sure your students know where K2 is, the College and Career Center. If they haven't visited there before, please visit there now. You can also start applying as a sophomore or junior for these scholarships. So don't think, oh, I'm going to wait till my senior year to start applying for scholarships. You can start applying for scholarships as a sophomore, as a junior, and as a senior. So please go visit. I can't stress this enough. Here at Rancho Cotate High School, make sure to visit the College and Career Center. Check in with Ms. Jess Hazelwood. She's on top of everything. She knows about, she can do my job backwards and forwards. She knows about CSU. She knows about UCs, private universities, and at a state, as she mentioned in the beginning, right? So very, very resourceful. Welcome and Connect Center. If you ever find yourself in the area of Petaluma or Santa Rosa campus, please come on by to the Welcome and Connect Center. You don't need a student ID number. You don't need to know anything about the college. If I speak too fast or if I've gone over this information way too fast, just remember, come visit us, come to our campus. Please pay for parking. It is $45 ticket if you don't pay for parking or use the meters. I'm sorry about that. I've gotten many tickets in my day, and they don't go away. They show up in your DMV registration. Trust me, I know that. So stop by. Pay for the meter parking or pay on the street or park on the street, but visit our welcome center and they'll help you out with the first step, which would usually be the application, generates a student ID number, and then from there you can get referrals to different programs. Something I kind of brushed away rather quickly before I end is dual enrollment. So I know some of you guys are sophomores, so this slide isn't about dual enrollment, but you guys are sophomores and juniors, right? Make sure that you guys at least take one class before you graduate from high school. The enrollment fees are free, so no $46 per unit. You do have to pay the fees of the $21 student health fee, but you can take up to 11 units in the fall, up to 11 units in the spring, and up to 9 units in the summer for free while you're in high school. So if you're interested, it doesn't have to be an English class, it doesn't have to be a history class, it could be a PE class, it could be an art class. I tell all my little cousins, my younger brother, to take the Art 7A class, which is a nice introduction to kind of a college setting and the pace. And instead of it being a full year, it comes down to one semester, and that usually counts for a full year. But again, please check in with Ms. Jess Hazelwood in K2 in the College and Career Center. And this last slide, I usually save it for the end, right? We accept everybody and anyone. You don't need a social security number. You don't need to be a U.S. citizen. You don't need to be a permanent resident. If you're willing and want to go to college, right, and you may not be eligible to apply for the FAFSA because you have to be a citizen or a permanent resident. That's why we have the California Dream Act, and that's why we have the Dream Center as well. So I just want to end it on that. Everybody's welcome. I hope you guys visit. I hope the students take a class as a dual enrolled student, and please visit the College and Career Center. Thank you.
Really quickly, I also wanted to mention that for juniors and when you're a senior, we do a program called SRJC Jumpstart. That helps seniors get through all their SRJC steps so that by the time they graduate, they've done all their applications, get support on financial aid, how to do orientation, and we will even support you through registration in the spring. And Elias comes and they are a partner with us, so you get lots of interaction with contacts from the JC. So that usually starts off in October of senior year, then we continue about once a month from there forward. I'm going to transition over to Sonoma State, if you want to, and I'm going to get their slides up here. Give me just,
oh, please.
Is it this one?
I believe so.
Does that look right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
That's not a lot of
If
slides,
you
but
would
it's
prefer,
more
also
information.
meant to tell you guys we have this one if you prefer walking or that one's
Oh,
there.
cool.
So
Thank you.
just put that on if you want. Oops.
Appreciate it. All right. So just a quick introduction about myself. My name is Diego Martin Contreras. I am an outreach and recruitment counselor at Sonoma State University, way far away from here. I know it's kind of a long way away. But I'm also a JC alum, so shouts out to the JC. Love that place. I was a sociology major at Sonoma State as well as at the JC. I've been a community member my whole life. I grew up here in Santa Rosa as well as in Roanoke Park. So, Sonoma County and just Sonoma in general has been kind of a something that's very close to me. So I'm glad to be giving back to the community as an outreach and recruitment counselor. I will be at the tabling after if anyone needs my information. But I'm here to talk to you about the CSU system. So just wanted to give a couple quick facts about the CSU system. So as you can see here, I don't want to skip over my awesome line there. We see you at a CSU. We have 23 different campuses ranging all the way up from Cal Poly Humboldt, which is the newest Cal Poly. So they're one of 3 different Cal Polys. So I'm sure you all have heard of Cal Poly Pomona as well as Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. And it ranges all the way down to San Diego. Our first university in the California State University system was the university known as, anyone take a guess? San Jose. Yeah, San Jose is the largest in surface area as well, but it can range from so many different student populations in terms of diversity as well as just numbers, really. Sonoma State boasts about 8,000 students per year, and that's including graduate students, but a school like Long Beach or San Diego has about 40,000 students per year, ranging anywhere between 35 to 40,000 students. So one thing that I usually tell students when it comes to choosing a CSU is that, maybe some of the bigger schools might not be the right fit for you, but there is a CSU that fits you, whether it's the program, whether it's the environment, whether it's just the natural landscape of the school. There's a lot of different options because there's 23 different campuses. We're the largest university system in the entire country. And so you can see, like I mentioned earlier, our populations range from 1,000 all the way up to 40,000. Our smallest university is actually Cal Maritime out in Vallejo. And the minimum GPA requirement would be a 2.5 for students. Obviously, if we're talking about a campus that is a bit more impacted like San Jose, like San Diego, they do have kind of higher standards for their students in terms of minimum GPAs. So I would say if you are interested in any of those schools, definitely looking them up on the Cal State University website. And that way you can see whether you are at that GPA or if you need to raise it or if you're at a comfortable level. Also, your A through G requirements. It's kind of the one thing that you're going to see at most of the 4-year institutions is that you do need to meet your A through Gs. So the most important one being being English, because you have to have all 4 years of English completed. So make sure, I don't think there's any seniors out here, but if there are any juniors, just don't catch senioritis and you'll be able to, be golden on your A through G requirements. And of course, getting that high school diploma. And the CSU system does not require the SAT or the ACT. It can be used in the same capacity that an AP test is used now. So it can be used to bypass some GE requirements that may need to be met when you are at say Sonoma State, hopefully Sonoma State, or at any of the other 23 campuses. But I just wanted to kind of highlight a few more of our fun facts. So apart from the 23 different campuses that we have, a total of about 417,000 students supported by about 47,000 faculty and staff members that we have across the entire CSU system. We also have 60% of the teachers in the entire state are prepared through the CSU system. 40% of the engineering graduates are from the California State University system, as well as more graduates in business, agriculture, communication studies, health education, and public administration. So when it comes to how many people have graduated from the CSU system since 1961, it's about 2.5 million people. So that's about the population of San Francisco, I believe. So that's a lot, if I'm not mistaken. But when it comes to SSU by the numbers, so I'm going to focus a little bit more on Sonoma State right now. So when it comes to Sonoma State, I'm sure you may or may not know these things, but we do have the best graduation rate amongst transfer students. One thing about our faculty is that they usually say that the best transfer students that we have come from the JC. I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. I'm saying that if anyone here goes to the JC, you're going to be the most prepared as a student. So not only that, your professors at Sonoma State or at any other CSU are going to expect really highly of you when they find out that you come from the JC. And so we also have the number 4 four-year graduation rate for four-year freshmen. So anyone coming in after their senior year has one of the highest likelihoods in the entire CSU system to graduate within 4 years. So graduating students in a timely fashion, whether it's here at Sonoma State, whether it's Cal Maritime, that actually has the best employment rate out of college. So Cal Maritime has they're in the 90th percentile of being straight out of college and actually having a full-time job that's usually making well over 6 figures. But that's an engineering school, so we kind of see how that goes. So Cal Maritime is great in terms of finding their students jobs straight out of college. So that's definitely one of the things that the CSU system tries to prioritize, is making sure that we're not only preparing students to be, citizens in this world, but also preparing them not only through career centers that we have at most of our campuses, that their services usually prepare students for interview skills, for stuff like writing a resume or even writing a cover letter, because that's something that even me in my 20s did not know how to do, and I learned at the JC and also at Sonoma State. So we also have the best housing in the entire CSU system, but I don't think any of you parents want to pay that much for housing, even though they're going to be like 15 minutes away from campus. But so we also have the number 3 most amazing campus art center. I'm sure you all have seen the Green Music Center. It is absolutely amazing. It has one of the best acoustics that I've ever heard. The best acoustics I've ever witnessed. But also, student to faculty ratio is something that is very, very important for us at Sonoma State. Having a 21-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and actually it just went down this past year to 20 to 1. So having smaller class sizes for our students, making sure that they're being taught by their professors, not by a teaching assistant, in order for them to really be able to to connect with their professors as well as their staff members, because oftentimes one of the things that students have trouble with is simply just connecting with an advisor. So academic opportunities that we offer at Sonoma State, we have over 45 different majors and over 70 distinct concentrations. If you have any questions about our majors, I have brochures that I can hand out to you after and answer any questions. But we also offer undergraduate research because we are a part of the Council of Public Liberal Arts Colleges. So that's actually something that is unique to Sonoma State within the CSU system. We're the only CSU that is a part of COPLAC, and that's kind of where we get not only just having smaller class sizes is one of the features of being a part of COPLAC, but also, having independent research for our students to be able to kind of get a leg up, because we know that the CSUs aren't really known as research institutions. We also offer different graduate programs and extended education at different campuses that we have, whether it's Mendocino College, where we have a satellite campus there, as well as Marin and Solano. And we also have study abroad programs. So if any students want to go see the world, I know parents, you may not want to let them go, but you also can see, places like Barcelona, like Venice, like Japan and Tokyo and Seoul and Korea. There's many different programs on 6 different continents that are habitable. I don't think anyone wants to go to Antarctica, so that's why we don't offer any there. We also are the number 5 in terms of study abroad programs in the entire U.S., and we also offer a national student exchange for any students that do want to get into another university for about a year. Basically, it's an exchange program where they're able to switch spots with someone in a different university in order for them to still pay SSU tuition while going to somewhere like NYU or Stanford or any other university in the United States. So I think that's all I have. Thank you. Appreciate it.
For any juniors, I just wanted to mention that the CSU application will open up usually on around October 1st, and the deadlines for most of the campuses are around November 30th. So if you are a junior considering a CSU campus, you don't need to worry about starting the application over the summer, but you can start researching your campuses and your majors so that when the application opens, just know that you have about 2 months to get that completed. We do offer workshops every fall to help students with their college applications once you become a senior. I'm going to pass it off to our UC Merced representative that's going to share a little bit about the UC system with you now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm going to give you, I forgot to do the last part.
There we go. All right. Cool. My name is Alyssa Arteaga. I am our admissions representative for the Northern California region. I serve areas as far as Fairfield, as well as I do a lot of work in the Bay Area and Sacramento as well. So if any of you ever have any questions, feel free to always ask me too. I myself was a first-gen student. I am someone that I was the first person in my family to go to college and go on and graduate. So I do know how that feels when you have tons of questions all running around too. So feel free to always ask me any questions that might pop up later. But we'll be going over everything about the University of California and all of its campuses and everything like that too. So with the University of California, we have about 9 undergraduate campuses, anywhere from our northest one up in Davis, as well as going down to UC San Diego. Our campus, I am with UC Merced, which is in the middle of California, right in the heart of the Central Valley. So we have campuses all over, and the main thing that you want to know when you think about where you want to go in the future is kind of what location you want to be at, what programs do they provide, what resources do they have that really fits your needs. So there's a lot to go into that you can really check out and see which one is the best fit for you. So there's lots of different things when you're checking out all the different 9 campuses. And one thing I do highly suggest is to visit each campus. Really go and visit each one if you're able to. You guys are sophomores, juniors right now, so you have plenty of time to go and visit any of the schools that you want to go into in the future. So highly recommend visiting each one to get a taste and see what each campus is like. With us, yes, just like seeing what campus environment is best for you. Do you see yourself going somewhere local? Do you see yourself going somewhere by the beach or what have you? There's so many different choices that you have when choosing a campus, as well as their financial aid options, their housing options, and plenty of different options as well, because it is a huge investment, so it's really cool to really see everything too. I'm definitely seeing what programs that each major has. Definitely, each campus has their own versions of majors too. So always go in and check out all the different support systems, everything from being a first-gen student, or even any information if you are under DACA or anything like that too, under the California Dream Act. So there's plenty of different stuff too to really check out. For you guys, it's really cool just to make sure you're able to make sure you have the best grades. With us, as long as you have a 3.0 GPA, you have your A through G done through high school. And of course, Ms. Hazelwood can definitely help you as well with making sure which classes that you're taking are the best fit for you. That will let you go into a UC system. So from there, August 1st, when you're a senior, that's when you go in and apply and go ahead and definitely sign up for the financial aid as well. Whether it's the financial aid as well as the California Dream Act, definitely go in and apply for any of those to give you that help too. So you might be wondering, what are the A through G? So all that is going to be your history, as well as English, math, visual and performing arts, your language other than English, as well as science and your college prep courses too. A lot of times the college prep courses, if you do take a course at Santa Rosa Junior College, you can use that to fulfill any of the requirements for going into a UC program. So all of that is definitely there to kind of get your mind going, thinking about what classes that you might need to take so you're UC eligible. So what we do count is your UC GPA. So for you guys, when you guys are juniors, sophomores and juniors, this is a time that really counts. Make sure you're taking the best grades. Make sure that you're doing the best in your classes, because that is going to be what's going to determine your UC GPA. So as long as you're on top of your things, I trust you guys that you are all high scholars as well. So just keep everything up. Definitely check out all of those options to make sure that you are UC ready. And there are plenty different things to consider when you are applying to the UC. Anything from the extracurriculars that you do in high school, anything as well from like awards and honors, work experiences that you do. So really do whatever you can that shows who you are as a person. Put that in your application when you're a senior. I know that'll be a long time from now, but it's good to kind of look at it and think about what you need to get to those next steps for when you go into college. We also have personal insight questions too when you do apply. For us, that is when you go in and just write anything that really shows all about yourself, as if you were talking to me as an admissions representative. Definitely write as much as you can in those personal insight questions to really show who you are, so we can look at that in the application too. With the UC, for students that are the top 9% in their class, they are guaranteed a spot at any UC campus if there is space available. A lot of times that is at our campus at Merced, so you do have a lot of options as well for that. And also, so we look over everything too for the comprehensive review. So anything going into the family context, what is your life like at home, what things that you do in your classes, what things you do in your extracurriculars too. So all of that does factor in to your application when you do apply in the future. So it's just a lot of different stuff to really get you well prepared. So you might be asking, for UCs, how am I going to be able to finance this? It is something really worth investing in your education. That is something that doesn't go down in value. With our campus, we do with the whole UC campuses, it is guaranteed tuition for 6 years. So when you do get to come in, you do already have that tuition from when you start. It's going to be the same thing for the 6 years, so you don't have to worry about that price going up or anything as well. So that will be flat, so that will get you real prepared too. So looking at it, you're probably thinking like, okay, this is a lot of things that I have to think about with budgeting, but really just make sure that you're going in and saving as much as you can and going into everything too. The books and supplies, all of that, we do have book lending programs with all of our campuses. We do have our healthcare as well. You can actually save that $2,000 on there if you have health insurance through your family, so you can waive that too. So with that and room and board, sometimes it could be different with each campus. The tuition is all the same for each UC campus. So really going in and just saving enough money for everything, because it is really worth investing in for a great education too. Majority of our students do get some sort of financial aid. With our campus at UC Merced, majority of our students get up to $22,000 in aid for the year. So there are lots of options too when you're looking. You don't have to feel like you're breaking the bank in order to get a UC education. So students will get any type of grants. We do have the Blue and Gold Scholarship as well as the Middle Class Scholarship. UC Merced also has a Bobcat grant too. So we have so many different grants and scholarships to really go in and have that pay for your college. Also, a lot of our students don't have any debt after they go into graduating. They have not a lot of student loans, so that's also another thing to consider. With our campus, we do have a lot of different diversity as well. I know when you get to walk on a campus and you can see lots of faces that look like you, that feel familiar. So these are some of our high rankings right here too. Within the whole UC, we are a Asian American, Pacific Islander, and Native American serving institution. And especially with our campus at UC Merced, we are a huge Hispanic serving institution as well. So it's just huge diversity. Any type of club that you want to go into in the future, there's always a club that can fit you. At our campus at UC Merced, we do have a Ballet Folclórico club. We have a Manos Unidos club. We also have a Boba Tea club. So there's so many different clubs that you can always join. At each campus, there's so many different ones to choose from. So you'll always find something that fits in with your own culture, with your own self-identity. So you do feel yourself and you feel welcome at each campus that you choose. For the UCs, we do support anyone who is undocumented, anyone who might be a veteran, first generation, if you might be an underrepresented population, might be low income, whatever it may be, we do have so much support and so much help for anyone too. And that is really worth taking advantage of to make sure you do really go in and see the types of resources that are all available for everyone as well too. So if anyone that has a student disability, the 504 plans as well as the IEPs will transfer over a lot for the UCs. So tons of resources all available as well. So this is actually our campus. This is the beginning statue at UC Merced. So that is also another cool thing, but we have so many different resources. If you wanted to snap a picture, feel free to as well. But my name is Alyssa. If you ever have any questions, we'll be out here, and I do have my cards out in the front too, in case you have any questions later. You can always feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you. So just a quick note on UC applications and support. When you head into summer after junior year, just please note that the application opens up in August, and although you can't start submitting it until October, we do recommend seniors start on their UC application over the summer, especially in the activities in PIQ sections, because those take the most time. As soon as we get back, we do usually start running application workshops for UC and private schools coming up, which we're gonna probably touch on in just a second here. And so support on those applications will start for seniors as soon as school starts in the fall. But we love it when students have taken that initiative to get going and know where they're gonna need the most help from us. And if you are a junior who is thinking about the UC, make sure that you stop by and maybe chat with the rep tonight afterward, or definitely stop and chat with me. I want to make sure you know where to find those PIQs so you can start thinking about them and even drafting them this spring or summer. All right, I'm going to turn this over to the University of San Francisco to talk a little bit about private school option for students. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Sergio Maravilla. I'm an admission counselor with the University of San Francisco. Basically, what my role entails is I help out students learn more about the university. If they have any questions about the application, I assist them in that. If they are admitted, and then I celebrate with them as well. So a lot of fun journeys in the admission process. Today, I'm going to be giving a general overview of the private university kind of college-going culture, things you should know, helpful tips, maybe highlighting some differences of what you might expect from a private university versus a public university. But I do want to preface that there are so many private universities out there, and they're all very, very unique and different. So please take this with a grain of salt. This is a very general point of view from a private university perspective. And if you have any specific questions or specific interests, please reach out to that private university for additional support and guidance, okay? All right. So what is a private university? A very simple question, but has a lot of different answers. A private university operates often as an independent educational nonprofit organization. Emphasis on the independent. You might have recognized today that the UC system, the CSU system, they are part of these larger university systems. private universities are their own entity. Additionally, too, private universities do not receive their primary funding from the state government, but instead relies heavily on student tuition and fees, alumni donations, as well as endowments. So whenever you're looking at the websites of private universities, you might be like, yo, these prices are kind of high. But just know that that's why the main difference is because private universities offer work on their own budgets like that. And then also too, whenever you're looking into private universities, please note that some private universities also may have religious affiliations. This might alter the kind of students that they admit, the kind of requirements that they offer during their time at private universities, or other different aspects as well. For example, the University of San Francisco is a Jesuit Catholic university. We do require our students to have a theology class, a philosophy class, as well as an ethics class. That might be something different that you might not take at a public university, but you can't expect it to take at USF, a Jesuit Catholic university. But then also too, a lot of private universities, even if they have religious affiliations, you should definitely ask them, how dominating is a religious culture on your campus? If I'm not religious, am I going to feel alienated? For example, at USF, only about 25% of our students actually identify as Catholic or Christian, and that theology requirement that we do require can be satisfied by any kind of religious studies course. So that's just sometimes students might be like, I'm not Catholic, I can't attend. But diving deeper into those questions, getting those answers can open up a lot more knowledge based on that specific university. Here you can find some examples of private universities. There are a lot. The columns on your left side are all private universities located here in the state of California. And of course, there are a lot more. You might notice close by ones like the University of San Francisco. You might recognize University Pacific in Stockton, California, University of Southern California, USC in Los Angeles, and a variety of others. And then on the right two columns, you'll find some private universities that you might find out of state. Of course, you might recognize some of the top name ones, Harvard University, Yale University, but also maybe some other ones as well, such as Seattle University, Regis University in Denver, Colorado, and once again, a variety of others. And just really want to emphasizing that while we are all private universities, we are our own unique campuses as well. So if you're thinking like, hey, I might want to do my college education in Los Angeles, I would recommend reaching out to, for example, Occidental College and really diving deep into what they have to offer as a university, because it might be different. For example, being in San Francisco, we do offer a lot of opportunities for our students to engage in our city environment. And then also too, something else that we should take into consideration is going to be cost, size/community, and then also how do you go about applying. So to talk about the cost, like I said before, private universities rely heavily on their own tuition and fees, alumni donations, and also their endowments. But I do want to emphasize that private universities often have a lot of flexibility for financial support, and also scholarships and awards as well. For example, at USF, our average need-based award last year was about $48,000. And then on top of that, we do offer merit-based scholarships based on your high school's GPAs or transfer community college GPAs as well. And students for really competitive GPAs can receive up to $29,000 each academic year they attend. At USF, more than 90% of our students receive some type of financial aid, some type of scholarship, some type of award. That means the majority of our students are not paying the sticker price that you might see on the website, and that is very, very common practice for every private college that you might attend. If you're also attending a specific private college, they might offer you a full ride opportunity as well. So I guess my biggest advice for you all is please, please, please do not count out private universities just yet. Apply. You never know what you're going to get until you actually take those steps. Who knows? You might get a full ride at a private university, and it might be paying for your whole cost of tuition, your whole housing, and all your meals as well. Something else to highlight is size. A very big thing that private universities often, share is they have smaller class sizes. For example, at the University of San Francisco, we have an undergraduate student population of about 6,000 students. Average class size is about 22, and student-faculty ratio is about 12:1. So if you're looking for that really personal relationship with your academics, if you want that one-on-one support, if you want to build those relationships with your peers and your professors, a smaller classroom environment is a lot easier to do so. Letters of recommendation, ability to ask questions, there are a lot of benefits to thinking about that. But once again, all private universities are very different. while you might think of, if I can go back, Caltech, or the California Institute of Technology, they have about 2,000 undergraduate students, very small class sizes. But then you might look at New York University, which has about, 58,000 undergraduate and graduate students. University of Southern California, USC, also has a very large population, as well as Stanford. So definitely looking at the size in regards to which specific university you're looking into as well. Additionally, too, there are a lot of benefits as well for applying to a private university in regards to size. A very big theme at private universities is one-on-one attention. For example, at USF, everyone has a major advisor as well as an academic success coach. And then also you'll have access to a career advising, housing advisors, mental health support, very, very accessible for your time during college. That's probably one of the biggest things that we have to support our students. At USF, we have about a 93% four-year graduation rate, and we attribute that to a lot of our one-on-one advising. And then also, too, about 80% of our students acquire at least 2 internships before they graduate from USF. And once again, we attribute to that our career one-on-one advisings as well. So that's another benefit outside the classroom in regards to small classroom sizes, is the accessibility of these resources outside the classroom. And then also to take note of applying. Once again, every university at the private level does have offer their own unique way of applying. With the UCs and CSUs, I believe they have one application that you get to submit and you get to apply to multiple. For the private universities, it depends. All private universities do offer a direct application. Like, hey, I'm only going to apply to USF. I only want to submit that. You're free to go. But also, we do offer the common application as well. Many private universities do utilize a common application, where one section of the common application will go to everyone that you apply to, and then the other half of it will go to specifically the university for that specific section. So that makes it a little bit easier for applying to multiple private universities, and then that offers that kind of support. And then also, too, the coalition application as well offers a similar situation. You can apply to multiple private universities with one application as well. Things to expect on your application, it might look a little different from CSUs, UCs, or community colleges. For example, of course, you will submit your application sharing your personal information, what classes are you taking, extracurriculars that you're involved in. On top of that, you will have to submit either your unofficial or official high school transcripts, just to kind of see if you're academically ready for a college education. You could expect essays and or supplemental responses as well. For example, USF does require a 250-word response asking our students, how do you align with our mission and values? Are you going to be a good fit for our university? And that's a good way to kind of get a sense for that. Some universities at the private level also offer admission interviews with a representative from their admission office or an alumni. Sometimes admission interviews are taken highly into consideration for the acceptance, and then they offer that kind of support service as well for their admission. Also, test scores. You definitely have to ask each university, are you test optional? Are you test blind? Do you require test scores? At USF, we are test optional, so students do not need to submit the SAT or ACT, but they do have the opportunity to submit that. So that's something to expect at the private level. You will have to ask if they do require test scores. And then also, letters of recommendation. At USF, you can submit up to 3, but we are optional for letter of recommendation. You do not need to submit them. Your application will not be penalized. So if you are looking to apply to a private university, just take note, these might be the things that you're expecting on your application and during the admission process. If I had to offer any advice moving forward, I would definitely recommend to engage with the universities, visit their campuses, attend their virtual events, get in contact with their admission teams. If they are a smaller private university, more often than not, their admission counselors work with you throughout the whole admission process. I've been working with students since the fall, helping them out with their application, reading their application, and then celebrating with them whenever they got admitted. And now I'm helping as they're beginning to decide where their next chapter is going to take them. So please, please, please reach out to your admission officers. And then also I would recommend researching financial support at specific universities. Every university is required by law to have a net price calculator where families and students can input their family income, and it'll give you an estimate of what exactly you might expect to pay at that specific university. As you reach out to their admission offices, ask them, how do you support your students financially? What are some scholarships I need to apply for? What are scholarships I'm automatically going to be considered for? Do I need to submit the FAFSA, and by when? And then also too, ask for application fee waivers. At USF, we give them out willy-nilly. If you email me, I'll happily send it out. And I know that's the case for a lot of other universities as well at the private level. And then also similarly at the bottom of it, please start early. I really like the timeline that UC Merced had. Definitely recommend, as you're kind of in the process right now, honing down what university that you're looking to apply to. During the summertime, researching what's the admission requirements. Do I have access to any supplemental essays I can start right now? And then in the admission process, or in the fall, also reach out to your admissions team to see how they can support you or for any upcoming deadlines as well. Also, visiting websites is also very helpful. They often have virtual tours and also very clear expectations in regards to upcoming deadlines and application materials needed. And then I also thought, why not provide some helpful questions for our students and families? So if you are working with an admission office, if you attend a college fair or you're attending another event like this, I thought, hey, why not ask them, provide some helpful questions? Questions such as, can you tell me about your university? What makes it unique? What is the kind of student that thrives on your campus? Other ones might be, what are the admission requirements? Do the admission requirements differ for different majors? I know at USF, while we offer a general admission process, we only have 2 direct entry programs. Basically, that means that students need to be admitted to those 2 specific programs. They cannot be admitted for any other major, then switch into those programs. They need to be admitted straight off the bat during their first year. Those 2 programs include nursing and engineering. So we really want to emphasize if students are looking into those fields, we recommend to connect with us so we can kind of hone down those different admission requirements. So really asking if you have a specific field in mind, definitely asking your prospective university about those additional requirements as well. Of course, what are some deadlines or important dates I should take note of? On the private side, a lot of our applications are due January 15th, but of course that might differ across universities. Do you require the SAT or ACT? Very, very important. How does your university financially support students? A very important question. What resource or support services do you offer students? So for example, if you need any accommodations during your college career, how can that university provide those accommodations and how freely can you change them? Maybe tutoring services, cultural centers, anything like that. How can this university support me so I'm not only surviving my college education, but thriving within it? And then also too, what do you look for in an applicant? At USF, I like to describe our students as academically focused. They want the best for their futures, but they also want to have a very nice, happy college experience in the city of San Francisco. And then also too, acknowledging what exactly our student community looks like. For example, at USF, about 50% of our students come from out of state or internationally. The other 50% comes from every city in the state of California. So that's also something too in regards to what exactly am I entering into in regards to student community. What kind of students would thrive at your university? Very important question. And then also too, kind of a catch-all kind of question. Do you have any tips or pieces of advice as I'm beginning this admission process or as I'm in it? So I definitely want to recommend, these are very, very helpful questions. These are the ones I personally love to get asked. And I think this really sets up a lot of good quality information following with the answers as well. But once again, I just want to say, best of luck in your college journeys. And, it takes a village, right? So now us 4 in your village. So please reach out. You should never go through any of these kind of hard questions alone. So if you want to take down my information, please do so. And if you have any other follow-up questions, I'll be also tabling in the back as well. Thank you all.
Can we give a big round of applause for our 4 presenters tonight, please? They will all be out in the lobby for a little while for you to ask individual questions to. I really encourage you to ask them either about their individual campuses or for, I know for community college and CSU and UC, they can probably also answer questions just more generally about what is the application like, what is the process like for those systems. Really quickly before we go, I just wanted to encourage, if you're not already on text reminders for your graduating year, I do encourage you to sign up for those. It especially becomes important as you get towards senior year. I do send a lot of emails, but I know a lot of people don't get to their emails as fast as they would a text message. I try not to send too many text messages, so you won't be getting spammed by me too much, but this is a lot of students and families find it helpful to get just a little reminder right to their phone about things like application workshops or when deadlines are. And so I do encourage you, all that you need to do is that code, you do need to include the @ sign with your graduating year, and you text that code to 81010, and it will just add you to the College and Career Center text groups. I also want to make sure that everybody knows about my website. If you have more questions after tonight and you want to kind of do a little exploring on your own, this website has information, everything from applying to college, paying for college, and then some career and other information on there. This is a great starting place if you just want to poke around on your own, learn a little bit about scholarships or how you can find and research schools. And finally, I really encourage students, and parents are also welcome, if you want to make appointments with me, I can answer more individual questions in the College and Career Center. I do have some flyers out on the tables out there. One is a checklist for juniors, but sophomores are welcome to grab it. It gives you an idea of things you can be working on before senior year. And I do have a flyer that has this website as well as my appointment link there. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I appreciate you all being here. Please stick around and ask some questions, and I hope to hear from all of you soon. Have a great night.